Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the session on financial peace today. Finance has been one of the major causes of stress for many people. And there is a survey done by PricewaterhouseCoopers in which they say that 58% of the employees admit that they are stressed about their finances. And this leads to distraction at work. This is true for many people, while this survey was done in the corporate setup, but this is true for people who are even in businesses. If we are stressed about our finances, that impacts our ability to focus on work, and it impacts, our relationships, and it impacts our health and so many other reasons. So the stress for finance is the stress related to finance is at the root cause of many other stresses and challenges that we face in our life. So it's very important to understand what are some of the causes of stress that we have, and particularly in the last 1.5 years, the overall the environment has been very challenging and stressful. So some people have lost their jobs, and or if they were in business, their businesses shut down. So that led to the loss of income, led to a lot of stress. And as a result of impairment in income, their debts went up. So that's another cause of stress. Or even otherwise, people have accumulated a lot of debt, whether it's personal debt or education debt or debt for cars, many other things. That's led to stress. Taxes is another reason why a lot of people, I personally get very stressed about having to file my taxes. Not that I mind paying taxes. I'm very grateful that I have the ability to pay taxes on time, but just the process of, accounting and keeping everything together stresses people out. A lot of people get stressed about the credit card bills or the electricity bills or many other bills that that keep coming into our mailboxes very regularly. So I'd like to pause here and see if what's your cause of stress. What stresses you out, and what is it about finance that stresses you the most? You can unmute and speak, or you can type in the chat. We'll be happy to hear from you. What is it about finance that stresses you? Is it another thing which stresses people is the whole thing about money. People tend to think it's very complex, and that stresses people out. What else? What else is the cause of stress? Let's see, what are we getting? Loans. That's a big one, Afzal. I agree with you. Complexities. Thanks, Abhay. I completely resonate with that. Thanks for sharing, Ruchi. So that a lot of people have this scarcity mindset. Paisa khatam ho jayega to kya hoga na? What if we run out of the money? So that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Ruchi. So while we're waiting for other responses to come in, I'd like to share with Amit and with everybody else that finance is not as complex as it is made out to be. Thanks for sharing, Rahul. Ability to have enough for golden years. That's a big one, and we are going to spend some time talking about that, because when I speak to people, I address a lot of the young people also, and when I normally ask them how long you think we will live, and the answer is like 50, 60, 70 years. Nobody whenever I ask this question, how long we will live, normally people don't go beyond 70. But the fact is, the kind of age we are living in, we're going to live till 80, 90, 100. So that's something we need to be prepared for. So thanks for sharing that. Anjana, what next to enhance your kitty? Yeah, that's very important. How do we keep funding our retirement nest or emergency fund? So that's very good. So I like to keep this interactive, and let us see what comes out of the session today. I hope you will find some value. I'll do my best to make sure that you get value in the session. We have captured some of these things, so we'll move. A lot of us spend a lot of time in working. What I would like to hear from you is, how many hours in a month do you spend working? Normally, how many hours in a month do we work? You can unmute and speak, or you can chat, put it in the chat. How many hours do we work in a month? So if we look at like 10 hours a day, 5 days in a week, and 4 weeks in a month, which, yeah, financial freedom, 172, very precise. 200 hours. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you. 200 to 250 hours. 170 hours. Yeah, so we work about 200 hours in a month. And what I would like to ask you next is, how many hours do we spend planning for our finances in a month? How much time do we spend in managing our money or paying attention to the money that we want? Uh, I would like to hear some or see some. Zero. And I'm so happy that that's a very honest response from Afzal. A lot of we spend like 200 hours working, but we don't even spend 2 hours. Rahul is very savvy, so 2 to 3 hours a week, 2 hours in a month. Ruchi says less than 5 minutes, so that's close to what Afzal said, zero. Rarely any time. Yeah, so Dr. Shilpa has got back. So we spend like from 0 or 5 minutes in a month to about 2 to 3 hours per week. That's the kind of range that we have got. But systematically, what we're seeing is we're not systematically investing time. The most of the wealthy and successful people would spend about half an hour every day, or about 2 to 3 hours in a week managing their money. So that is, Dheeraj says, don't remember last time when I planned, and that's the challenge which many people face. We don't take out time. We're so busy earning money. We tend to forget to take out time to manage money. So it's very important to spend some time today, and that is what the session today is about. Uh, take Getting the basics right of financial planning. That's what we're going to focus on. But before we move to that, I'd like to take a minute to introduce myself. Some of you are joining our session for the first time today. My name is Ashish Kumar, and I'm the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living in 2018. Prior to starting Mindful Living, I worked in the corporate sector in senior management roles for about 25 years. In the last 2.5 years, we have conducted over 250 sessions for employees in the corporate sector. Some of the leading organizations that we work with include names like Tata Group, IBM, CII, Swiggy, EXL, Kotak Life, SDFC Life, CGI, Times of India, Airbnb, etc. The session today is being sponsored by InsureSure. InsureSure is started by my friend, dear friend, Mr. Sanjeev Gujral, who is a veteran in the insurance industry. He started this organization last year, and they have had great success in about a year's time. They have insured assets worth 5,000 crores. They are the trusted insurance partners in the session today. And if you like, you can take their screenshot, and this has their coordinates. Anybody who would like to reach out for genuine insurance advice, they are the people to reach out to. Today is Guru Purnima, and I would like to pay my regards to Dave Ramsey. He's the one I follow a lot for personal finance. What I'm going to share in the session today is something that I have mastered over 20 years, and what I have learned from Dave Ramsey. Today, I would urge you to keep a pen paper ready. There are things which I'll share with you, some which will resonate with you, and some which may challenge some of your existing beliefs. So my request to you is to stay focused on what resonates with you and pick that up as a learning, or pick that up as an actionable for you. Sometimes what happens is, if we find something that doesn't align with our existing beliefs, we tend to reject the whole thing. So please pay attention. Please be focused on getting that golden nugget, which can change your financial future, which can change the financial future of your family. So stay focused on getting that golden nugget, and working on that one. Today, the session is on finance, and we tend to get very serious whenever it comes to finance. Like one of our participants today said that it's very complex. So my suggestion to those who think that it is complex is that it is not actually complex, and I'll try and keep it simple. And let's have some fun. Let's have a minute of fun. Let's not take finance, or let's not take life too seriously, and let's have some fun. So I'll do something on the Zoom, and if it is okay with you, you can also put on your camera, and we can do it together. Just give me a minute while I do this. If it makes you laugh, it's good. How am I looking? So you can also put, I'll tell you how to do this. You go to where the video settings are. Go to the video and choose video filter, and go to the video filter, and you have some cool filters there. You can choose that. Uh, and if you are liking what I'm doing, you can go to the emoji button, and just show thumbs up or show love, so that we know that this is fun for you. uh, Adults learn better when it is fun, so we're just trying to have some fun before we dive into more serious stuff. Wow, Ruchi, you're looking real cool. Let us see what else have we got there. Others have their cameras off, very serious. So it's a matter of choice. My suggestion is don't take life so seriously. Have fun. And that is what we're going to do now. Anyway, I'm going to go back and take this off so that you're not distracted. Good. So now, coming to the crux of the session, this is the what you see here is a pyramid, and what is it about pyramids that's very striking? Pyramid is the most stable structure on Earth. It's been standing for about 5,000 years, you know. And when we use the principles of, which were used in making pyramid, in making our financial plan, we have a plan which is solid and which will stand the test of time, and which will ensure that we have money come what may. How many of you will be interested in having a financial plan which will ensure that you have money, whether you live, whether you die, whether you are disabled, whether you have job, whether you don't have a job, whatever situation, or whether your children's wedding is there or education, irrespective of what situation you have in life, you always have money available. If you are interested in a financial plan like that, please type BIO in the chat box. Bring it on. If you are interested in having a financial plan which will ensure, uh, thanks Rahul, thanks Nitin, thanks Amit, thanks Dheeraj, thanks Ruchi, thanks Anjana, thanks friends, thanks Afzal. So this plan, this plan which will ensure that you have money at all points of time in life has three. That plan, that financial pyramid has three distinct structure to it, And at the base of the structure is protection. The first thing that we need to do to have a solid financial plan is to have adequate protection. And that is what we are going to talk about in the next 15 or 20 minutes. How do we protect what we have got? And I would like to, share a story with you from Mahabharata. And in this story, what happens is that I'll cut it short. The five Pandavas, they were very thirsty and they go to a lake and they start drinking water, but they are warned that don't drink the water, it's poisonous. And you can only drink if you answer a question. But, the Pandavas did pay heed to that and they just drank water and they, one by one, they all died. And then Yudhishthir came, and Yudhishthir is asked this question by Yamraj: "What is truly amazing in this world?" And Yudhishthir gives a very insightful answer. He says that the most amazing thing is, though humans are mortal, everybody goes about their life as if they are going to be here forever. That culturally uh, we don't like talking about death, but the fact is it's an inevitable truth of life. We all were born and we all will die, but we live as if we're not going to die, and we don't prepare for the inevitable in life. It's okay if we live too long, which is what I'm going to talk about next, but it's not okay. It can create serious challenges if someone were to pass away at a young age. It happened with a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine. We would have turned uh, 40 in September this year, and we lost him to COVID. And there are many other people, many other families, who have lost their near and dear ones. So what is important in the first thing to make a solid financial plan is to take adequate life insurance, because when we are earning, we are a cash generating asset for our family. uh, and it is very important that this cash generating asset is insured and protected. So, in case something were to happen to the asset, the cash continues to come to the family. So, it is very important that we take out time and review the amount of life insurance that we have got. We review what will happen to us in case I am not there. What will be the just give me a minute. What will be the how will my family live in case I'm not there? So it's important that we take time out and pay attention to this fact. In case you have an insurance advisor, get in touch with him. In case you don't have an insurance advisor, you get in touch with us and we will help you understand what is the right amount of life insurance one should have. A lot of people put this away by saying that I have insurance, but having insurance and having adequate insurance are two different things. Uh, as a thumb rule, we should all have 10 times our income as our insurance cover. So if I'm earning 10 lakh rupees per annum, my income should be 1 crore rupees. If I'm earning a million, then I should have 10 million as my cover. So that is the basic. And it's only when we have done this, uh, uh, we should think of anything else in our financial plan. Because if we go about building our financial plan without getting the base of life insurance, the financial plan is like a house which is made of pack of cards. It can fly off or it can fall at any point of time, or whenever there is a small wind or something like that. The next risk which I was referring to when I started the session is living too long. We don't realize this, but there's uh, due to the advancement in the healthcare, it is now possible that human beings could possibly live forever, because there is, and if you don't have to believe me, you can research on it. There are already 500,000 people in the world who are over 100 years old, and this number is steadily increasing. Today you can print your body parts, so there is technology available which can take cells from my body and print my liver, print my kidney, print ears, print heart, whatever, so it's technically possible to just keep replacing the organs I have in my body, and live as long as I want. So this is a reality which we should all be prepared for, because what is happening is the income spans. I'll request people to mute in case they're not speaking. The income spans, our ability to earn, for is coming down, and our living period for which we are living is going up. Uh, and when we stop working or when we retire, our the income stops, but we have all the time. So what do? So our expenses go up, either because we travel or we have medical issues or whatever else. So we need to be cognizant of the retirement planning that we need to do. One of the participants shared that how do we do retirement planning, how much amount we should spend on retirement planning, and life insurance is a very solid way to build a long-term retirement plan. There are whole life plans. There are many other plans which are there, which one can use for retirement planning. So that's about living too long. We need to be cognizant of this risk, and we need to start planning for it now while we are working. You can't have a retirement plan when the income is not there. So the retirement plan has to be made when we have current income coming in. The next thing which is very important is to be prepared for the fact that disability can happen to anybody. And here in the picture, you see a gentleman, Mr. Sarthak Saxena. We tend to think that this will not happen to me, but Sarthak is an engineer. He's a professional like us, and he was traveling in a bus, and the bus met with an accident, and he lost his right hand. And we are having him come and address our community on 14th of August at 12 noon. And he's going to share his story of how he built his life after he lost his right hand. But the fact is, it can happen to anybody, and it's important that we buy disability insurance. Is relatively inexpensive, and it can prevent us from the shocks we have when we have unfortunate event were to happen. And the next one is the health insurance, which is very important. A lot of people um, in the COVID times have had instances of hospitalization, and it's very important that. So sometimes a lot of people I speak to, they say, "My company already provides me with a health insurance. Why should I have another health insurance?" So the median value of the coverage that is provided by companies or corporates normally is about 3 lakh rupees, but we tend to change jobs, and the amount of hospitalization can be much larger. Recently, I came across a case where there was COVID, and there was challenge with the lungs, and the hospitalization expense is 35 lakhs. So, the 3 lakhs insurance that is provided to us by the corporate may not be sufficient. So it's very important that we buy top-up insurance. Top-up insurance is very inexpensive insurance, but it's a good cover. And what this will also ensure is, in case we don't have a job, or we are in between jobs and there is a hospitalization instance, we are not hit too hard. But take adequate life insurance. And today, the life insurance, the health insurance is also available till 100 years of age. So you can buy early. And a lot of people are also shy of buying early because they feel I'm healthy right now and I don't need it. But the fact is, if you are unhealthy, the insurance company will not give you insurance, or may load you, or may charge you higher premium. So it's important that we buy health insurance while we are healthy, and we don't need it. That's the best time to buy insurance, whether it's health insurance or life insurance. And another myth which is there around health insurance is, especially with uh, lifestyle conditions. So some people have diabetes or BP, and they think that I'm not eligible for health insurance. But today there are plans where even if you have diabetes or blood pressure, you can buy health insurance. So that, and the next important thing is to cover our assets, which is our house, car, building, etc. And This has become very important because of the rising instances of natural calamities that we are witnessing regularly. It's important that we pay attention to the assets we have and ensure them. Some are required by law, so we do it, and some which are not required by law, we tend to ignore. But by ignoring, we kind of become a robber. If somebody else comes and robs us, we feel very bad about it. But some of our actions tantamount to robbing the financial future of our own family. So that don't be a financial robber for your family. Buy protection and ensure that the financial future of your family is secured. So I'll pause here, and I'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Does what some of the things that we have shared resonate with you? If yes, I'd like to hear from you. If no, would like to hear also.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, Meenakshi, hi.
Thank you so much for organizing such a wonderful topic, which is core to everyone. So I just have a question that what is the criteria for choosing a good financial planner? How can we choose a best financial planner for ourselves? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Meenakshi. The professional credentials of the planner is one that you can look at. Like we work with InsureSure for all the insurance requirements, and they are licensed by IRDAI, so they are licensed by the regulator. So it started, InsureSure is started by professionals who have got over 50 years of combined experience. So they have the credibility, they have the right intention. Uh, you can go for references, so you can check with your people whether they have bought from them or dealt with them, and see what their experience is. So professional credentials and the uh, the regulatory requirements. So whether the person is properly licensed or not. These are some of the things that you can check. Does that help?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the reply. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any thoughts? If you agree or disagree, anything, please. I hear Amit saying yes, it makes sense. Afzal says it makes sense. There is a comment. Satya, my insurance was just in 2 months. My wife got. Satya, that's it. That's it. Wow. Satya, would you like to unmute and share your experience with us?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I retired in 2019, Feb 2019, but I knew that I'm not the person who's going to sit quiet, post my retirement. I'll keep doing something or the other. So I started building up my skills from 2017 onwards. And in 2019, after I retired, I set up my own company by the name of poshsystems.com, and where I do training for prevention of sexual harassment of women at the workplace. So I've got that. In fact, I think I should have started much earlier rather than waiting till the retirement. So it is also very important that you should build up your skills, that in case if the place that where you're working, in
Yeah.
case you lose your job, do you have a backup option available?
Correct.
So it's very important you do that, because so many people lost jobs during the COVID time. right?
Constant investing and learning is the best investment that one can
Absolutely. So invest, in plan out for your, family and for your future, as well as invest in yourself and keep building up your skills, because you have to keep sharpening the saw.
Thanks. Thanks for sharing that, Dr. Sandhya. There is a message in the comments from Satya. Let me read that out. He says, my insurance was 5 lakhs. Just last year, I had taken a top up of 15 lakhs. So his health insurance was 5 lakhs. He took a top up of 15 lakhs last year. And soon after buying the top up, his wife got hospitalized due to COVID, and the bill for the hospitalization of COVID was 16 lakh rupees. So imagine if he had not bought that top up, he would have his insurance would have paid him only 5 lakhs, which was his original cover, and he would have been out of pocket for 11 lakh rupees. So it's very important, by taking that top up cover, he has protected the financial future of his family. That's great foresight, and thanks for sharing that. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Anjana. That's very important. I think Anjana says that somebody who is empathetic, who's understands your requirement and does a proper evaluation of your risk appetite, and not only looking after the commissions. I think that's great for sharing. So we have heard some great examples, some great sharing by Dr. Sandhya, by Satya, by Anjana. We will move on, and if you have any questions and comments, we will take that. So just to recap, it's very, very important that we focus on insurance, and by life insurance, by health insurance, by asset insurance, and protect our family's financial future. If we don't have insurance, then in case there is an exigency, like Satya shared, his wife got hospitalized and the bill ran to 16 lakhs. It can set us back by many, many months. There was a statistics which I came across in Times of India, which says that on an average, the spend on hospitalization due to COVID is equivalent to 6 months' salary for most people. So that's the kind of setback. If we don't have insurance, we can lose 6 months of income. So these are some of the things that we need to be cognizant of. Moving on, the next part of the financial pyramid is the savings part. And this is something which not many people understand. So we need to understand. It's a basic concept, it's a simple concept, but we need to understand what are we saving for. So there are 3 things we need to save for. The first is emergency. In case emergency happens, what do we do? Not many people, in case they have an emergency, can, which could be a health emergency, like Satya talked about, or it could be a car breakdown, it could be a loss of job. What do we do in case of an emergency? And it's very important that we create some funds to take care of this emergency. The minimum or the starting point should be 1 lakh rupees. If you already have 1 lakh rupees, then you don't need, this doesn't apply to you. But for those who don't have 1 lakh rupees in emergency saving, start building your emergency funds. These are funds which you will park in a place which you can't readily encash. You can't not readily encash, but you can't. You would mark them out as emergency funds, so you're not tempted to use them for anything else. And this is 1 lakh rupees is the first step. And once you have done, in case you've already reached that milestone, the next step is to have 3 to 6 months of parked in emergency funds. This is what I did when I started on my own. I parked about initially about 3 months of expenses, and that gave me so much of confidence that I have money which I can fall back to in case my income from my business does not go up. That gave me a lot of confidence, and then whatever I earned, I kept topping up, and now my emergency saving is much more than 3 to 6 months also, and that gives me a lot of confidence, and I'm able to go out and do my business. And the best thing about having an emergency fund is when we have an emergency fund, emergencies don't happen, because we are confident that we are able to deal with anything that happens in life. We go ahead with full confidence in life. So create emergency fund, minimum 1 lakh rupees. And in case you already reached that milestone, then it is 3 months to 6 months of monthly expenses. That is what you should put aside in emergency fund. The next thing that we should save for is the spending. Uh, Over the last couple of years, we have got very used to buying things on debt, whether it is credit card or personal loan or whatever loan. Other than buying a house on loan, I don't suggest we should have a loan uh, for anything else. And in fact, I was referring to the questions which Yamdut asked, Lord Yam asked Dhritarashtra. And one of the questions is, how can a person be happy, or who's a person who's happy? And he answers, Yudhishthira, sorry, not Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira answers that a person who has got no debt is happy. So this wisdom has been available to us for thousands of years, but we have not kind of applied it in our lives. So it's very important. So first thing is we build emergency fund. Second is we start saving for spending. So if I have to buy a car, or if I have to upgrade a car, I save for it first, then buy it. Or if I have to travel, I save for it first and travel. So that is what we should save for. And the third thing is for wealth generation, which some of you are interested in. And wealth generation is a long-term game. Somebody asked Mr. Warren Buffett, who is the richest investor in the world, why is building wealth or getting rich so complex? And he said, no, getting rich is not complex. It just requires patience. And most of us don't have patience. If we are prepared to have a 20, 30, 40-year plan, we can all be dollar millionaires. Some of you may already be, but in case you are not, build a long-term financial plan with a good financial advisor, and I'm sure there will be a lot of prosperity. So this is what we had to largely share. I'll pause here to see if you have any questions. I'd like to hear from you. What do you think? And then, yeah.
Ashish, there was a question which was, how do you select the right financial planner?
Yes,
So
yes.
it's advice. I have some, feedback on that. Is that there are financial planners who will charge a fee. So
Yes.
that is a better person to go to, because he has no self-interest in the whole thing. And there will be some you will come across who will who will not charge you anything, but then they'll push you to buying the products that they want to sell.
Yeah.
So it's advisable that you go to a financial planner who charges a fee, because then he will give you the right advice. He will look at all your various aspects, and then, what are your goals, etc., and then suggest the right way to go ahead.
So you're quite right there, Dr. Sandhya. Sometimes remuneration drives the recommendation. And if the remuneration is fixed, then the recommendations which come from the financial planner are absolutely aligned with the interest of the investor. So thanks for sharing that, Dr. Sandhya. And we also heard from people that those who are aligned, those who are professional, and those who are aligned with your need analysis. There are many ways we can select a good financial advisor. Uh, Remuneration is one of the ways to look at it. Professional credentials, the other one, and intent of the advisor is the another one. So thanks for sharing.
And Ashish sir, I just had a question, Ashmita here.
Yes, Ashwin.
The current financial planning will also keep in mind the pandemic which can come, the third wave is coming, the fourth wave, many waves will come. So even that planning is kept in mind when the financial planner advises us, especially the pandemic one.
So that's a very good question, Ashmita. So it is said that while the COVID may get over in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, we don't know, or it may become like normal flu in some time. The future waves may happen. Already there are some new virus strains that are being detected, and those. So we may have more pandemics, but if you are adequately insured for life and for health, this plan will help you deal with any number of future pandemics. What is also important is not to ignore our own health, and invest in our taking care of our own health, taking care of our immunity. Sometimes I have seen this reckless behavior where people, they who have insurance think that I can live life king size, and because I have insurance, in case my health is spoiled, hospitalization will take place, or the company will take care of it. But that's not something which is a very good way to live, because what happens is once you get hospitalized, your tendency to get hospitalized again and again goes up, and the health will deteriorate. So it's very important that in addition to the financial protection, we invest in taking care of our own health. We invest some time in immunity boosting health activities like yoga, meditation, etc., so that we are healthy for a long time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any comments? Any questions? So, if there are no questions or comments, what I would urge you to do is spend next 2 minutes in capturing your ideas, capturing your thoughts on what is it that you have taken away, what is it that you have learned today, which you are going to act on. So take 2 minutes. I'm putting on my timer, and at the end of 2 minutes, please share with us in case you're comfortable about sharing, and we'll be happy to hear how will you use these ideas. What have you learned today? So just to recap, the most stable structure on earth is pyramid. When those principles are applied to building your financial plan, you have a financial plan which will be very, very solid and will ensure that you have cash irrespective of what situation you face in life. Uh, like I was talking about life insurance, term plan is the solution for planning to, in case we were to die early, by a term plan. If we are to live too long, by a whole life plan or an endowment plan, which can help. And sometimes people are reluctant to invest in a long-term premium paying plan because they're not sure of their income. But what happens is the life insurance policy builds a surrender value, and you can take a loan against the surrender value. And in case there is a disruption in the income, you can use that loan to pay for the premium. Or in my case, when I started my business, I took a loan from my life insurance policy and use that money as the capital to start my business. So life insurance policy can also help you deal with a situation like that, where you need capital, to start your business, and you can. So life insurance got the whole life plan or an endowment plan has got many applications and uses.
Ashish, what is your thought on the monthly income plan vis-a-vis getting the money in a lump sum and investing it in, say, mutual funds or similar instruments? What is your thought on that?
Could you elaborate on the question? Where is the lump sum coming in from?
So I'm saying, for example, one invests in what you call as a monthly income plan, that post your retirement every month you will get some amount of money.
Okay.
That is one. Against that, you have money coming in, and what do you think about, sort of, instead of opting for the monthly income plan, better to opt where you get a lump sum, and then that invest money you can invest in either mutual funds or something else. What about the returns? I mean, what do you think about it?
Okay, let me rephrase my understanding of the question. So there is a lump sum how do we deal with that in case we need a monthly income? So if you have a lump sum, you can invest it into the mutual fund, or you can buy a annuity from a life insurance companies. So mutual fund also, there are equity mutual funds, there are debt mutual funds. So depending on your risk profile, you can choose that, or you can choose a combination which could be a balanced fund. So there is one way you go to mutual funds. The other way is you go with a life insurance annuity. You can go and buy annuities from life insurance, or many other private sector companies also have annuities, which will give you a monthly income. And from that monthly income also, you can set aside a certain part of money and keep reinvesting into assets which will generate future income, because we don't know how long we are going to live. So don't consume everything that is coming in from the monthly income. Continue to save from that monthly income. I don't know if I've answered your question, but that's my thought.
So if you know what is, I mean, I want you to elaborate on what is better, the annuity plan or investing it in mutual funds. What is a better option?
See, it will also be a function of the risk profile and the time frame that we're looking at. Mutual funds annuities may or may not beat inflation. Mutual fund, if it is equity, it will beat inflation. So it will probably, a combination will be better, but I think it's important that you get in touch with a good financial advisor. And I would like to recommend Mr. Avdesh Nagar. Avdesh is also a dear friend, and he's worked in the financial services industry for over 25 years, including a role as director in Standard Chartered Bank. He is the trusted go-to person for many people in our community. So you could reach out to him and see what he has to say on that. Avdesh, are you there on the call? In case you're there.
Yeah, Ashish, I'm there.
Yeah. So Avdesh, if you would like to respond to Dr. Sandhya's query.
Okay, so Dr. Sandhya, see, just give me a moment. I will change my. Okay, Ashish, am I clear? My voice is clear?
I can hear you.
Okay, very good. So, Dr. Sandhya, see, you are comparing a annuity plan to a mutual fund systematic withdrawal plan. Am I correct?
Yeah. So annuity
Okay. See,
is SWP. That's right. Yeah.
Exactly. So, see, Dr. Sandhya, if you are looking at, say, very short-term period, 2-3 years kind of time, then annuity may be a better option. But I would rather recommend a SWP plan, and I will recommend that you park this money in a balanced advantage fund or dynamic asset allocation fund or some kind of hybrid. So not 100% kind of equity risk, but a dynamic risk is a better option. And with that you can do a SWP plan. So that's a very moderate risk we are taking. However, we are getting a good return on the equity as well. It will not give you a return like equity funds, but because of a combination, it will take care of risk part also. And as SWP for a long run, if you are looking beyond 3-4 years, it will be a better option than an annuity.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Avdesh. Friends, we've got a lot of information in the session today, but that information will transform your financial future and the future of your family only when if it is acted upon. So please share with us 1 or 2 takeaways or 3 takeaways that you have from the session today, either in the chat box or you can unmute and speak. While we are waiting for your comments, there is one from Mr. Sanjeev Gujral, who is the CEO of InsureSure. Financial planning is no more a choice to opt or not. It's certainly required for current and secure future, ultimately peace and good health. So yes, very, very true. Thanks for sharing that, Sanjeev. Today we also have Mr. Rahul Mathur, who is with us. Rahul joins us from Mauritius, and he is also an insurance veteran and CEO of an insurance company in Mauritius. Rahul, are you there? Would you like to share your perspective on how proper insurance planning can lead to a solid financial future and financial peace? Rahul is left. We have Kamlesh. Kamlesh, would you like to share your thoughts? It's okay. Anybody
Hi,
else?
everybody. Yeah,
Hello.
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 Hello from Mauritius.
Yes, Kamlesh. Hi.
Yeah, hello from Mauritius.
Hi.
So, in terms of financial planning, I would say that will be the most critical thing that most of the time we don't think about, as you mentioned in the beginning. We don't spend time as such, and also the thing is, and like for insurance, it's not bought, it's sold. So it's only about creating awareness to the community at large. And in Mauritius also, there's lots of work to do, right, to get people to really think about protection, security. Sorry, there's some work going on at my place. Okay, that will be all from my side.
Thanks for sharing that, Kamlesh. Thanks for reinforcing the need for taking out time for planning, protection and security. Afzal shares that raising emergency fund is my takeaway. I think that's very, very important. I strongly recommend everybody to create an emergency fund. Dheeraj says that don't consume everything you earn monthly. We must save as per the financial pyramid. I strongly echo that, Dheeraj. I see a lot of people who start investing, for financial goals without protecting, themselves and their family. I think that's very, very important that we, follow the pyramid model and get the insurance right first. And some of you have joined us for the first time. These are my coordinates. In case you would like to be a part of these events in the future, you can send us a message saying that join Mindful Living JML. You can type JML in the chat box along with your mobile number, and we will add you to our community where the updates about future events are shared. You can also connect us with the social media and stay connected with us and get information about the awesome event.
I have a last doubt.
Yes.
May I know what is your take on investing in stocks,
Investing in stocks.
stock market?
Yeah. What is it that you want to know?
Stock market, in sense, as I have read, it is very volatile and risky, and from some I have heard that it's a good option to invest. I mean, I want to hear your take on this.
Okay. I'll kind of repeat myself, Meenakshi. We should first do the insurance protection, then emergency savings, and then use stock market to invest the cash that is there. And if done systematically over a long period of time, then it is not risky. It is volatile, but not risky. A lot of people get scared with the volatility in the stock market. Stock market will go up, stock market will go down. It moves in waves, but it is volatile, it is not risky. People confuse volatility with risk. So if you have a long-term time perspective, it is one of the best asset class, and which everybody should have in their portfolio. So that's my take. I don't know if that helps, Meenakshi, but that's my take on that. Maybe I'll request Avdesh to add something on that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Ashish. So I can only, you covered everything very nicely, but I can only say that financial planning is not only important, but it's urgent. I seen that when people attend the webinar, they feel excited about it. They are serious about financial planning. But when it comes to implementation, it gets delayed. I would request all of you, if you have not done it, do it now. Treat it as an urgent matter, because delay has a cost. And if you delay, then every day you are sacrificing a little bit from your future. So thanks. That's my only message to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing that, Avdesh. I think that's action is the key. So whatever you have learned, today, whatever ideas you have taken away from today, please act on them. That is how you will ensure that your financial future and your family's financial future is very, very secure. This is something which I have mastered by practicing over last 20 plus years, and this is proven to work. And I'll be happy in case you have any questions, follow-up questions. Feel free to reach out to me or Avdesh or Vibhor from InsureSure. If you have insurance-related questions, you can reach out to Vibhor Garg from InsureSure. If you have financial planning related, how to create an emergency fund, you can reach out to Avdesh. And overall, in case there is anything I can assist you with in terms of financial planning, we'll be happy to do that. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for taking out time and joining us. In case you would like to stay in touch with us, please type JML so that we can add you to our WhatsApp living community, mindful living community on WhatsApp, and you can continue to, yes, thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, Dr. Karya. We'll be happy to have you as a part of the community.
Thank you.